OKeeffe, thanks for being here.
Yeah, no problem.
It was a fun 15 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is what you get with tech. We're used to this.
Yeah. Who needs tech anyway, huh? Who needs it
Exactly.
anyway? No, but we solved it. Thanks to the team. I have no idea what was going on. Apparently, first you couldn't unmute, and then I couldn't speak, even though I'm unmuted. I have no idea what Telegram is doing.
I think
thanks
Rose
for
kicked
being
me out
here, man.
Yeah, I think Rose kicked me out.
Yeah, I saw that in the chat. Yeah, Rose is sometimes a bit overeager. We need to have a word with her.
Yeah.
Luke, if you hear this, let's have a chat with the good old Rose. I already did a quick intro earlier. Let's do that again. I have no idea if it was actually recorded or whatever happened there. So I guess we start the recording from here. Also for your information, Keefe, this would go to YouTube. I'm sure you're informed and have no problem with that.
Yeah, no problem, bro.
If you do, this is your last chance to complain.
No, fine. You can do what you want, man.
Awesome. Thanks, mate. So, yeah, welcome again to Linking the Blocks, the ChainsAtlas podcast. I'm Jan from ChainsAtlas, where we do such trivial things as completely changing the way you interact and work with blockchain. Thanks a lot for being here, Keefe. We met the first time in Chiang Mai about 3 months ago, something thereabouts. Yeah. And then in Bangkok briefly after. And yeah, I met you at a pool tournament. And as you weren't doing that great, so you needed a drink or two more to improve your skills. And you shared a lot about your journey in crypto. So I'm looking really forward to this episode because you definitely are one of the more interesting people and have one of the longer stories in the industry of the people we had the chance to talk to so far. They're all super interesting, but most of them are relatively new, like 17 to 21. But you've been around for quite a bit here, so maybe you can tell us a little bit about your history and how you get to this point.
Yeah, sure, no problem, bro. So, yeah, going back quite some time, back to 2013, I had some friends who kind of told me about this thing that had been around for a while called Bitcoin. And I always had an analytical mind, really, and I could never really get my head around how you could just keep printing money and it would stay sustainable and it wouldn't kind of lose its value over time. My head just never.
Well, you say that's not going to work? Oh, come on.
Yeah. So
sorry, man. Sorry, carry on.
It's all good, man. So for many years, I was just puzzled by how this works, now how every country didn't kind of just go to nothing, And then they told me about this. I had a quick look at it. And then one of my friends said, hey, and you can print it, you can mine it. And I'm like, what? And it's limited to 21 million. Okay. So I dug around, we had a look in it. So we did something that was probably quite clever and probably quite different at the time. There's a few of us chipped in together and we bought a wind turbine in the UK and we used a disused grain store and we set up 16 miners in there and we started mining back in 2013 and that was good. It was good fun, free energy to make the Bitcoin kind of churn out on a weekly basis, which was really good to see it happening. Yeah, and I spent some Bitcoin on some crazy things over my time. So yeah, a few Bitcoin on flights, hotels, things like that. And so, yeah, I was involved with that for quite some time and it went well for many months. Then obviously the big Chinese farms came on board, kind of gazumped everybody. But we branched out with a few things. We opened up an exchange, but unfortunately we got hacked, which I think was an inside job. So my story has a lot of things that went wrong that I've actually learned from. But what I did at that point, I kind of moved into online marketing and teaching people how to make money online and becoming a digital nomad and that kind of stuff. And as part of that, I always had my fingers in crypto and I did kind of try to teach people about crypto and stuff like that. And then when it came around to probably, well, I think it was probably in 2020, no, 2019, no, maybe before that, maybe 2017. I can't remember, to be honest. But I started to really see that the benefits of NFTs and gaming, because I always had an interest in gaming. I kind of started to get involved in a few gaming projects where NFTs were like TCG cards and things like that, and collectibles. I was there telling my email list that were learning how to make money online to buy the Bored Apes when they were first minted. Another mistake by me. I told everyone to buy it, and I actually forgot to jump in on and mint them myself. So that was another mistake I made, although some of my followers did do quite well off them. And then I kind of really just stuck around with the gaming thing, and I got quite friendly with a couple of people who made a TCG card game, and they had their own indie gaming studio. And that's kind of probably would lead me on to why I kind of got involved with the Wall project and moving forward. But yeah, that was my kind of my journey to where I am today.
That's quite an interesting one. As I said, like I've been around here for, what is it now, 4 years, going on 4 years. Before that, I had no touch points to crypto whatsoever and blockchain. I was always like a B2B guy, super Web 2. And yeah, in the middle of COVID, I just actually threw a project. I told that story many times. We developed something that required blockchain, and then that's where the trip down the rabbit hole that we probably all went through started for me. But you've been around for a while. I love the wind turbine story, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, it was.
I really love that one.
Because the electricity in the UK was quite expensive, and it was just a way around that. If I remember correctly, I think we actually got paid by the UK government to actually make Bitcoin. So that's probably a first as well. So we were actually being paid to mine Bitcoin, which is, yeah, probably a little bit different to
So basically UK government unknowingly subsidized Bitcoin in 2013, you know.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I heard a similar story in, I think it was Germany, where a client of ours, energy company, wanted to do something similar, like with the turbines that are currently not used. And you know, there's always the problem in actually making use of the excess energy for renewables. And I wanted to use that to mine Bitcoin. But then there was a huge outcry because Bitcoin supposedly is so bad for the environment. So the energy that goes to waste now, something useful. Yeah, it doesn't add up. People don't really think far enough.
Yeah, I agree.
Most of the time,
I agree.
It's an interesting.
Yeah, you have to think wide and very far and wide, I think.
So all that led you to do something amazing now. Maybe you can share a little bit about your newfound love for AI. I mean, obviously we at ChainsAtlas totally approve of that. And we had a quick conversation before this where you were talking about, really, don't want to say too much. I don't know how much you want to share, but building basically a knowledge base with added knowledge bit by bit, which is quite in line with what we've been working on over the last few months, particularly Ayub. Shout out to you. Probably still sleeping in Paris. Yeah, so maybe you can talk a little bit of what you're doing with your new company, your new project, and give us a little bit of an introduction and how it fits together with your experience that you made in the industry.
So, well, the project we've got at the moment is called Wall. It's kind of like the name was taken after breaking down the fourth wall. And I think forward-thinking minds a while ago realized that, you know, crypto was going to be the next big thing linked to all smart people would see that AI would be there. And I think we because I was involved with the guys who had the gaming studio, we realized that there was a real world problem for kind of getting gamers into new games. So what we did, we built a tool, kind of, you can call it a streamer's toolkit, which has AI integrated into it. But it basically, what we're doing is we're trying to solve 3 problems. One is for streamers. Obviously, there's a huge streaming community out there nowadays. One is for the viewers. One is for gaming studios. So if I kind of just break it down, I could probably talk a while about this, but I'll try and keep it as concise as I can. So the way to think
we
about
still have
this,
some time. I mean,
yeah,
technically,
no, I will.
I hope you have enough time to make up for the 15 minutes in the beginning. I don't know your timing.
Sure,
Actually, a good
sure.
question.
Hey,
If
no,
you don't
no
mind,
problem.
then let's
No
just
problem, my friend.
run until 4 and then do some Q&A. So don't worry about that.
Okay, let me dig in then. Okay, so let's break it down into the 3 kind of elements of what our toolkit does. So for streamers, at the moment, you could kind of say it's maybe hard to stand out. You know, discovery is broken on Twitch and YouTube. Viewer retention is probably pretty low. Keeping people engaged is what, after speaking to streamers, is probably a constant battle for a lot of them. And monetization options are probably limited. You know, subscriptions or donations don't always work for everyone. So from a streamer's point of view, we kind of saw, okay, there's a few real world issues that need kind of addressing there if we can help them. And what we realized for viewers, I mean, a lot of the moment for viewers, they watching streams and, okay, it's fun, but it's passive. You know, there's no real incentive for them to stay engaged, just to stay on the stream. There's no like ownership. Viewers spend hours, you know, supporting creators, but they get nothing in return, if you like. So there's like a lack of, let's say, interactivity, maybe. You know, most streams feel kind of maybe one directional instead of like allowing you to participate. So what we want to do is to try and bring that into what the actual viewers actually maybe participating in what would happen, and actively get involved in the actual streams. And then for like game studios, which was our initial kind of pain point, but we've realized as we've been developing this that it's probably much bigger than that, and it's probably for any kind of like product owner, not just game studios, any other product owner that wants to get views or people onto their products, where the streamers streaming their products, you know, many things in the health niche and things like that. So for game studios specifically, we knew there was a problem from acquiring new players. You know, it's very expensive, ads are costly and often ignored. It's hard to track the market ROI. You know, traditional ad models don't provide much meaningful engagement data, if you like. Influencer marketing is very hit and miss. I think everyone will agree with that. Sponsorships don't really always translate into actual players, if you like. So when you take the 3 things into account, what we've tried to do with Wall is to try and fix this. So the way we've kind of positioned it is like streamers will get like AI powered tools for engagement, retention, and to help with monetization. Viewers can earn rewards just for watching and interacting and participating with the stream and staying on the stream. And the studios or the product owners or whoever they are, they're kind of going to get guaranteed player engagement through gamified rewards and challenges. So it's kind of like a circular beneficiary now for all 3 aspects of anyone involved in streaming, you know, the viewers and anyone who wants to get more eyeballs on their product. One thing that we've done with Wall is we've made it multi-platform. So we can take viewers that are watching, you know, Facebook gaming over to Twitch, or from TikTok, or from YouTube gaming. It doesn't really matter which platform it is, as long as it's Wall enabled, we're multi-platform, so we can move them across from different platforms to another. So that's kind of a basic high level overview, if you like. Anything else you want me to expand on that?
It's up to you. It's your project, man. I'm sure we have some streamers out there that might be interested in potentially hearing more about the solution. But in general, it's an interesting field in the way that it's not only for crypto, right? It's a general solution that tackles a real world problem.
Absolutely, and we don't really need to be a crypto project, but it was just it made a little bit of sense, you know, if we're going to be giving people rewards and stuff like that, to do it via that. But the way
Absolutely.
we did the onboarding was, we know there's so much friction with people from Web 2. There's a lot of people that just are anti-Web 3. So we thought if we could do it in a way where they didn't actually realize they were. So we've just left it more as a Web 2 login when people go to get the extension that floats over the different streaming platforms. They just sign up with an email and their name. They don't have to connect to wallet. There's none of that friction in the way of them joining up. So we've kind of, when I speak to people, I probably tell them that we're more Web 2.5, where we're trying to pull people from Web 2 into Web 3 without them really knowing about it. And like you said, we don't really need to be a crypto project as such, but it just kind of helps for us to give out rewards and stuff if we actually are. And I think further down the line, we will want to be. So it just made sense to do it this way, the way we've done it. I know your podcast is more about the AI, so I could probably dig in a bit more into how we kind of trying to help the streamers, because there's some real good solutions.
It's both, right? We are Web3 and an AI company, right? So, and this podcast particularly is really about the link between both. So, but I'd love to hear more about your AI product as a product, because I love products in Web3 that make use of the strength of it. But as you said, they don't have to be Web3, right? But they see the benefit in being Web3 and embrace it. And I love that.
Yeah, so what we did, we've got a good team behind our project. It's quite a stellar team, if I say so myself. And we had some really good focus groups with streamers, and we asked what were the real world problems that were out there. So one of the things that came back was at the moment when a streamer does a stream, maybe they do 5, 6, 8 hour streams, and then at the end of it, they're needing to hire an editor, someone to go through it, someone to look at what cool bits happen, just to make a 1 minute, 2 minute clip. So we decided to develop some AI clipping tools. So obviously the streamer can say, okay, I don't know, maybe they're streaming a shooting game or something like that. Okay, if I do a triple head kill or something along them lines, it tells the AI to look out for it. Then as soon as they've finished their stream, whatever they've told it to keep an eye out for, the AI will go in and it will clip and take out the specific moments from that 8 hour stream and just chop it down and edit it automatically for them into like a 1 minute clip that they can then share on their social media and share across all of their different platforms. So this immediately saves them time, it saves them money, it's done automatically. And we started to think, okay, so AI is really powerful now. We'd be stupid not to jump on board with it. And we tried to expand a little bit more. So we've done AI-driven audience insights. So WAL kind of helps the streamers understand what keeps the viewers engaged, and it adjusts the incentives in real time. We've got gamified engagement tools, so viewers aren't just watching, they're kind of interacting with polls, with bounties, with challenges, and it keeps them engaged, which is all part of the AI tool that we've got in there. We've got automated monetization. Monetization, yeah. WAL connects streamers to games.
Is a tough word.
Yeah.
I struggled with antithesis last time. So there you go. I still can't say it.
Well, actually, yeah. For me, I struggle with English, even though I'm English. I think I've been living in Thailand too long now. I've been here 17 years. So
and I struggle with German, even though I'm German. Trust me, when I'm back, I speak like all the people I made fun of when I was young. That basically every second word is English because I barely use German these days.
Yeah, well, I'm from the north of England, so we don't really speak with the proper accent anyway. We're a little bit different.
I'm from, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, where I'm from, we don't really speak proper German either, so it all comes together.
Yeah, so as I was trying to say, automated monetization, I still can't say it. So a WAL tool, it helps connect.
Sir, you don't want to make money, is it?
Yeah, that's great. I just don't want to tell people I'm making money. That's probably what it is.
That's awesome, actually. So, yeah. That's good.
We're connecting streamers to the game studios. We're letting them run sponsored challenges, giveaways, for direct earnings, if you like. So yeah, that's how we're trying to automate the monetization. There you go. I got it right eventually.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. So the bottom line for it all is really, we kind of, instead of relying on luck or any algorithm shifts, if you like, we're kind of using WAL to give streamers more control over their growth and engagement. It's probably a way to kind of summarize.
Yeah.
It, to be honest.
And that makes sense. I mean, I love the combination of AI and crypto in every use case where it's about ownership and royalties and sharing revenue, monetization strategies, as you describe, because you can clearly lay it out immutably on the blockchain and still have the flexibility of AI in dynamically adjusting it according to the rules, the fundamental rules set, right? So you can really define ownership in very different ways than you could without it, or you'd need a crazy overhead in lawyers and paperwork and all that nonsense.
Yeah, all that nonsense, exactly.
No, that's super interesting. So how did you find your journey in AI? So we talked about your Web3 journey, but how was and it's such a fast-paced environment. Like I told people a year
Yeah.
ago, what you want to do, we're not quite there yet. Wait another 2 years. And then 6 months later, I had to tell them, yeah, maybe you would want to reconsider. It's really, and I've been working on cutting edge of technology, machine learning, big data, all that stuff where it's barely used these days anymore. So all stuff used to describe AI back in the olden days, that are just 8, 9 years ago. But yeah.
To be honest, I like to think that I've always had my finger on the pulse quite a bit. And even when I was kind of heavily into doing the internet marketing and the email marketing, one of my good friends, Carl, he launched something called Segmate. And when I looked at it, it's kind of AI back in about 2016, 2017. He was creating chatbots and stuff like that. And I think a lot of people don't realize that they've been interacting with AI for so long, but they kind of just never realized it. And it was only about maybe 2-3 years ago that I really started to dig around, when ChatGPT was the very first iteration of that came out, and I started looking at it and thinking, wow, this is moving pretty quickly now. And so once that came out and I started digging around, then obviously there was a flood of different tools after that. I'm a big fan of Perplexity. I've used Claude for years, and I kind of just dabble with as much AI as possible. So let's say my move into AI, if you like to call it that, it's kind of run in parallel for a while, but I've just realized that I had to ramp it up over especially the last 18 months. I mean, the speed it's been moving at has been phenomenal. And I'm blown away with every time these new LLMs come out and they start doing new stuff. And I honestly think it was a match made for heaven for crypto in AI. I just think they fit perfectly. I really do, from all aspects of it. So yeah, I've just always kept my finger on the pulse with it, and I tried to sample as much as possible. A lot of my work now, I'll put it through AI first, and obviously we top and tail it. But it just, I can get a lot more work done. And I've realized that if you don't run with it, whether you love it or hate it, you're going to be left behind. So it's a part of our lives now, and we just have to accept it. Or you can bury your head in the sand like my mum does and doesn't want anything to do with it. And then I'm afraid you have to just accept it. That's how it is. But
I mean,
I love anything that makes our lives easier and makes things better.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people saying, "Oh, people are going to lose their jobs." I don't think they will. I think if the people who are doing certain jobs will just need to use AI to make their job more simple.
Yeah. I mean, some
people.
Yeah. I mean, some people might lose the job they're doing right now, the way they do it right now. I can see that. I can see a lot of development jobs go away, and writers' jobs, all kind of these things. But then there are new niches where your skills will be needed. Like somebody still needs to oversee the AI coding and then do some Q&A, not Q&A, QA on it, quality assurance. Somebody needs to select the right AI for the right job. So I agree with that. I agree and disagree with it. I mean, history tells us there will be jobs with the new technology. There will be jobs that go away, but it also tells us usually they will be replaced by something we probably cannot really imagine at the moment. quite quickly. Who would have known what a data scientist is like 30 years ago, 20 years ago? Who would have dreamed of calling themselves prompt engineers only 5 years ago? So yeah.
Exactly. And I was blown away when I got a message a few weeks ago, I don't know, maybe a month ago, about when OpenAI did their new deep research. And I tried it out and I was just absolutely blown away by it. Was creating like 26-page documents from like really simple like prompts, you know, and I was like, wow, this is really, really powerful now. So yeah, that's moved on
Yeah.
massively even in the last year, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always those spurs of certain technologies where they just explode, right? And the thing is that AI has so many applications in so many industries. It will definitely be quite disruptive. But I mean, you can now, as you say, you can just stick your head in the sand and ignore it and hope it goes away, which I can't see it does. I wouldn't know how. But on the other hand, you could just embrace it and see how you can improve your own productivity with it, how you can maybe do things you couldn't do a while ago. Like, for example, I mentioned development, right? Rapid prototyping and development of software has become so much faster. We ran into trouble doing proper user tests because the speed of development was so fast.
Wow.
It's funny.
That's a good problem to have. That's a good
Yeah.
problem to have, though.
Yeah, it kind of is. But I mean,
Yeah.
especially me being in like software in one capacity or the other for a long time. I like now seeing that we develop a front end in a week, like a functional front end that works. It's like that used to take a full team and 2, 3 months. It's done in a week now. It's
Yeah,
really
I mean,
it's really
it's
amazing.
mind blowing. It's mind blowing when you put it like that. It really is. You know, I mean, going back years, actually, going back a long time when I was working in the UK, I was actually led a development team which were doing like PLSQL for Oracle financials back in the day, and just thinking back now, using AI for what we wanted to do then, I had a whole team of people working for me, and I could probably just do it myself with like probably one of them to oversee the code that came out of AI now. It's just bizarre to look back at it and think,
Yeah.
wow, crazy. It's really crazy.
Especially like junior and mid-level developers in the front-end sector.
Yeah.
And then I know some amazing guys who in that field and most of them embrace AI. I mean, they realize if you look at code that a 1 year in developer would create, you can compete with what, or at least 99% of them couldn't compete with what AI creates now. It's just a fact. But what they can do is they can look at if things are put together, be the interface to the product owner, to the team. But fact of the matter also is it's probably less individuals needed. But then productivity, and that's what we've seen in the past, more productivity will increase so much that you, even though per project you need less people, you have so many more projects now coming up. So I agree. I don't think it will be the main issue that it replaces people, but it will augment them significantly, and that's the amazing part. And being part of building that tool set of the future, building the environment of the future. That's what excites me personally.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think for me personally, good developers will just probably pivot their skill sets to accommodate and make sure they stay at the top of the food chain, if you like, you know. So,
Yeah, yeah,
like you said, okay, low level, mid, maybe some of those will obviously lose, but the guys who are doing well now, the good developers, the ones that have been out there and been, you know, grinding for years, I think as long as they realize that they just need to pivot slightly and just change what their skill set is, and like you say, over it needs to be managed. It can't just run itself. You know, you need someone who knows what they're doing and deciding which AI to use, etc., etc. You know, I think people just need to pivot what they're doing a little bit, you know, to stay in their jobs. You know.
yeah. And I mean, that's the funny thing. Like for decades, we were telling people that lost their jobs in industry, to automation. We told them like learn coding, and now the same thing is happening again. And I understand it can be frustrating, but it just shows you really need to stay flexible in what you do. Like the times where you could just do the same job for. You do an apprenticeship when you, I mean, being German, we're really big with apprenticeships. You do started when you're like 16, and then you stay in the same job doing pretty much the same thing for the next 40 years. I don't think these times, I think those times are gone, and I don't think they come back if we don't nuke ourselves into Stone Age or something of that sort, which, you know, we'd have other problems then. But yeah, I think just staying flexible enough and the way we work and how we define employment, and I think all these things will have to, and they're already changing, right? So I think it's definitely exciting. My team actually is super excited about your project. I get messages they want to use your the AI clipping tool for the podcast and so on.
Cool, excellent. Yeah, so we're actually currently just about to. We're still in the alpha build at the moment, but because we're actually having an event here in Bangkok on the 2nd of April, actually, where we'll be actually the first time we'll be publicly showing the wall tool being used on a live stream in the public domain. So that's exciting. That's about 2 weeks away.
It is. I'll be there probably.
Yeah, and we're going to be taking on, if people come and they look at it, and obviously if any of your team want to actually apply, we're going to be taking applications for the closed beta. So we do want a small group of people in the beta version of it. So obviously I'll chat to you at the event, and if you have people who want to use it, then I'm sure we can get them set up.
I mean, you know the candidates, Luke and Somtai. Those will be the ones involved in the podcast. And I know Luke probably is interested in the tool in general because he has a gaming background. And but yeah, I'll let him speak for himself eventually. I mean, Luke, if you want to, just feel free to join here and make your case.
Yeah,
otherwise.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I've got the power to unmute myself. That's beautiful.
You do. You do.
Yeah, that's funny. No, yeah, it sounds awesome, dude. I was just saying, it's probably a BD question, maybe not a public AMA one, but we'd be happy to partner and advertise the tool when we're using it in our clips and stuff. So, awesome. Yeah, very cool. Sounds dope.
Yeah,
how would you?
Looking for partnerships at the moment, so that's great. We can take that away from the public.
Right. I mean, besides all this, like a partnership with ChainsAtlas, it sounds like a nice idea in general. Like, and then how we shape it out. Luke is the right person to talk about the details on that. On the other side, I think our AI could be really useful for you as well. So that's, yeah, let's have a talk. Let's have a talk.
Yeah, I didn't. I did say it might not be public AMA material, but it's nice to bring it. Yeah, it's good for people hearing
definitely.
that we're chatting on these things. My other question. Oh, sorry, you go first, Keeffe.
No, go on. No, feel free. Fire away.
Yeah. So my other question was esports. So it sounds like from the AI creation and the interaction, this would be really good tooling for. Like the team interview questions, the intermissions, the breaks, maybe even like fantasy picks of which team people think are going to win. I don't know if that's possible at all.
Yeah, I mean, the guy, we've got a couple of guys on our team who are kind of immersed in the AI side of it. It's not my main focus, to be honest with you, but they're always open to any suggestion like that. And I know that esports is very, very high on our agenda at the moment. And we're already in talks with some big players in that industry as well. But yeah, I mean, I'd never really thought of it from the fantasy picks, to be quite honest with you. I mean, that's quite a good point. Honestly, I think the more we dig into it, there's probably so much we can do. And at the moment, we're kind of just, I don't want to spread ourselves too thin, to be quite honest with you. I'd rather just get something out, deliver a really solid first product, and then everything can flow after that. You know, I don't want to like try and to say, okay, we're going to do this, that, and the other, and then spread the team all over the place. You know, so what we want to do is just to get one solid.
Definitely. Yeah.
product out there, and then from that we'll probably see which way we flow. But I can see loads of doors opening up once we get the products up.
In regards to the fantasy picks, I think, we just had a conversation with the project. Or we will have the conversation with the project actually later. But Luca and I talked about something that might be relevant for that. But this is something I definitely don't want to tease or talk about in public yet. But yeah, there's a lot happening, man. There's a lot happening. I think we definitely should stay in touch about this.
For sure. Are you coming over to the Southeast Asia Blockchain Week in Bangkok?
In all likelihood, yeah, I will.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure we'll meet up then. I'd love to see you at the event, actually. I'd love to see you there. It'd be great if one of your guys could turn up.
Yeah, I think you sent me the link. I think I registered for it, actually.
Yeah.
I think I did. I don't have to double check. Yeah. Then I definitely registered for it if you send it to me. Cool. Might be that I have another important event at the same time. There will be a partnership announcement on the 2nd. Yeah,
cool.
But I'll check.
We're around anyway.
Or maybe somebody else can jump on.
Yeah, we're in Bangkok all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
We've got 4 of our team here, so we're always here.
So we have a couple minutes left. So how is your pool career going on?
Do you know what? I'm actually getting a little bit better. Yeah. So I still play every Monday night. It's kind of my release from everything. So
you didn't do too bad, because I made jokes earlier because you just lost the last 2 games when I joined. But what I've seen once I arrived was actually solid. I mean,
yeah, I try to always. It's
too bad.
I always try to be the kind of the lowest in the room. So if I go into a room, I want to be the guy with the least information, so I'm going to gain the most. So when I play pool, I try and hang around with the guys that are really, really good. So I'm the worst player, so I always have to up my game. It's kind of what I do with everything in my life. I don't want to be in the room where I'm the most intelligent or I'm the best pool player. It's not where I want to be. I'd rather be the guy who has to chase everyone and learn, So yeah, I've got some good guys around me at the moment.
It makes a lot of sense.
I'm probably the worst player, so it's quite good. Yeah, I'm having to up my game a lot, but yeah, it's all good fun. It's good fun. Every Monday, play pool.
Awesome.
Really good. So yeah, when you're back in Bangkok,
yeah, for sure. Just for the pool and the conversation, and maybe 1 or 2 additional G&T.
Yeah, I like my G&T.
Yeah.
Yeah, next year.
I could tell. Hey, I agree. It's a good choice.
I stopped drinking lager back in 2023, almost 18 months now. Yeah, best thing I ever did.
Yeah, obviously we don't promote drinking here. Just to everyone, be responsible. Don't be like these 2 guys here. Okay, so we're nearing 4 p.m. I think we could open up to some questions from the community.
Cool.
Luke Sumta, if you could see if there's anything.
I think the one about the esports I captured over from Discord, so I think we got most of the questions that came in. But anybody that has any questions about the AI clipping or anything like that, fire them over in the topic, and we'll get them asked.
Yes, please do. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, the project is really still very, very, very early, and I know when I first spoke to you, Jan, I kind of had a lot of it under wraps. We didn't want to kind of show too much of it back then, but now we're kind of, because we've got this event coming up, we're going to go. We sort of like, we're still in like investment rounds at the moment, but everything is starting to move pretty quickly now. So we're trying to just build up a community, really, and that's what we wanted to do. And
amazing.
Trying to find out people who would possibly want to try the beta version of it, and we just want to get a few people, no matter how many people have on their streams. Just we want to get some people applying to use the tool. That's one thing that we're doing as well. So people from the gaming studio side of it, they have to actually apply to actually get Wall enabled. But for like the users, we can pretty much approve people if they want to use the tool once it's ready to go.
So to everyone here, have a closer look at that as well. It sounds pretty amazing. And yeah. I do see a partnership in the future. My crystal ball is telling me.
Awesome.
So, yeah, Keeffe, let's definitely put a maybe 30 minutes next week on our calendars, and we can have a chat.
100%, man. No problem. I'll get the other guys in the team into chat as well, so you can have a chat with all of us. It's probably better. You can fire questions into each department. Yeah. So it'd be just good to meet the guys too. I mean, a couple of the guys are out over in North America, and there's a few of us over here in Asia.
I mean, Luke basically lives on American time, so that's perfect.
Cool. Yep, awesome. Let's do that.
I do indeed. Yeah, and just to echo what Eric was saying, like literally the other day, one of our team was asking me if there's an AI clipping tool for shorts. I was like, there's a couple, but they're not great yet. So yeah, that's going to be real interesting to get hands-on with the beta test. Looking forward to that. That's going to be fun.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of our key thing to get working as soon as possible, really. Yeah, we want to make sure it's right. We don't want to roll it out until it's absolutely spot on, though, really.
Awesome. So if there is no further questions from the community, Luke, do you see anything?
Nothing came in. We'll definitely get some come in late over the recording, and we'll fire them over to Keeffe. Anything that comes in that needs answering.
Yep, I'm always available, guys. Sure. You've got my contacts, so you can just ping me over any sort of messages you get. I mean, probably the best, if anyone wanted to actually just follow the progress, I think probably following the X account, we'll probably get the best updates on there, to be honest with you. We do
happy to share your socials on the announcement of the recording. So basically, we put this on YouTube in the next couple of days. And in that announcement, we can put all your socials as well, if you haven't done that prior. And if you don't have them, do share them. And
we'll probably share. We'll obviously, I'm sure my team's ready to put this out onto our socials as well. But I'll swap it. I'll make sure they get the. I'll get all the socials for you.
Yeah.
We'll just swap both together. Okay.
Cool. Yeah. Once the announcement is there, just feel free to repost on your side, and then let's have a chat next week. I'll shoot you over my Calendly, or you shoot me yours, or whatever, and then we'll figure out, how we can proceed. I think we have our work cut out, and then we can talk a little bit about how these corporations that we've been alluding to in this call could shape out. Awesome. So it was productive 45 minutes. Outside of the first 15 where we tried to figure out the tech, but then.
Well, I'd like to say thanks for giving me the time to come on, and it's been good fun.
Always, mate. Always. Hope you come back at some point. And
just always ping me if you want to chat about anything.
We'll do. Yeah, that for sure. But also on the podcast in a few months, once nobody wants to talk to us anymore. So we need fun people. Okay, mate.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Okay, mate.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks a lot. Next, I think I have a bit of a connection problem here. Keeffe, you're cutting out for me. I don't know if that's just on my side. Did you want to add something?
No, I was just going to say thanks, everyone. Take care. Have a great day.
Thanks a lot. So the next one will be on the 6th of... Oh, no, I just get corrected. I never get those dates right. I should stop saying it. Okay, on the 10th of April, apparently. And who will be the guest? Sumtai, can you? Marvin, yes, from Yellow Market Maker / We See. That should be an interesting one as well. Talking a little bit about Web3 investments and market making and all these wonderful things that are necessary. A little bit more try, but for everybody that wants to create a project there's probably a lot of value in that conversation. Thanks for showing up in ever-growing numbers. It's really amazing. And see you again on the 10th. Can't wait. Have a wonderful rest of the day. And my apologies again for the little hiccup in the beginning. But, I mean, that's part of the fun. So talk to you soon. Bye-bye.